Hello, the FIFA World Cup is coming, and if you're lucky to go to Russia to watch the games, then I would strongly recommend you to learn the Russian alphabet. Why? Well, at least not to get lost in the Russian cities, because quite often the street names, shops or other places like bus stops, metro stations and so on, they might be written in Russian only. Russian alphabet is actually not that difficult to learn, and I will help you to do that very quickly within the duration of this video. So let's start with the good news. There are only 33 letters, and many of them look quite familiar. If you think of Arabic, Korean or Japanese, for example, you will see that the task is already not that difficult. The bigger problem would appear once you start to learn Russian handwritten letters, but that's a different story, and it would also not look so much terrible anymore once you're confident with the printed letters. So, out of 33 Russian letters, there are 10 letters that represent vowels, 21 letters representing consonants, and 2 pronunciation signs that do not have sound value at all. To make life easier, we will split all the letters into 4 groups, similar with English, false friends, weird looking, and pronunciation signs, plus 1 very specific letter. To start with, let's look at the letters that are used in a similar way in English. Similar but not always the same. They are A, Ye, K, M, O, S, T. 2 of them are a little bit tricky because in English S can be read as K like in cap or as S like in scent. Just remember that in Russian C is always a S sound. Ye in Russian can be read as E like in Eminem or with an additional sound Ye before it, then it comes as Ye. I can recommend to remember that by using some mnemonics methods, which is based on building associations. So let's say Ye stands for Eminem who says yeah. So it's 2 sounds, E as Eminem and Ye because he says yeah. Eminem who says yeah. Now you can easily read the following words. Dom, mama, kот, sok, tema, most, sekta. Okay, 21% of mission is completed, so now we can move on. The second group of letters contains false friends. They look English but have different sound. Perhaps it is the hardest group, but luckily there are only 5 letters in it. V, ne, re, u, h. The first letter of V is not B like it would be in English, so let's say if you write Obama like this, in Russian it would sound like Obama. This looks strange, but if you ever learn Spanish you can remember that they actually mix the 2 sounds, B and V. So just use it to remember that English B turns into Russian V. Ne is not the same as H in English, so it's not like H sound as in hero. Maybe it would be helpful for you just to learn how to write the word no in Russian, which is нет. Re is not a P sound, it actually looks like an R, however one leg is ripped off, so it's re. Re with ripped off leg. Plus the pronunciation is not always like re, it's more like hard re, but I mean this is not that much important for you right now because we are more thinking of how to read it rather than how to pronounce it. U is easy to remember if you ever have learned German, because in German there is a very similar letter, which is Y, and Y starts with U, which is a similar sound to U. It's not the same, but is quite close. H is not an X. It turns to H from X similarly as Mexico turns into Mexico in Spanish. So now we have learned 1/3 of the Russian alphabet and can already try to practice reading the following words. Ракета. Вор, номер, туман, рука, ухо, ха-ха-ха. You can actually write out the second group letters if you often confuse them with the English letters. Just use it as a cheat note on the initial stages of learning Russian letters. But it's just 5 letters, so for sure it will not take long to get used to them. Group number 3 is the biggest but also the funnest one because we will learn the letters from here using associations. Let's first take a quick view at all the letters. B, G, D, J, Ž, Z, I, L, P, F, C, Č, Š, Š, E, U, Ya. So now let's go through them one by one. B stands for broken B. By the way, small b looks similar to the capital B, but it's just a bit more rounded. Let's read a few words to practice. Brat, tabak. G is easy to learn because it looks a bit like a gun. And few words to practice are guru, gamak, mega. Next one, de, looks weird, but if you turn on your imagination, you can actually make a car out of it. Just think of a particular car company, for example, Dutch, and then you will always remember that this letter sounds like de as the first letter in Dutch. Few words to practice: dom, dama, durag. Next one is yo. It looks like yeah, as you remember the Eminem says yeah, right? So now you need to learn that he also says yo because he is a rapper, and the letters look very similar and both belong to cool Eminem who says yeah and yo. Few words to practice: мёд, ёмка. Next one, je, looks like a bug if you just add few details to it, and the sound that bugs usually do is j. Few words to practice: жук, жена, жара. Ze looks like 3, like a number. Think of the famous Zorro who used 3 slashes to write his logo, and then you'll remember that this letter sounds like Z, Zorro. And few words to practice are zona, zub, gaz. Next one is a vowel E. It looks like an English N, however it has something changed inside of it. The slash is reversed. Let's think of this insider as a crucial change that turned N into E from inside. Kino, vino, mir. Next one is quite similar to the previous letter. It's Y, or we say it usually E. You can imagine that the added element on the top of E is the curved top of English Y, which actually stands for the sound Y, like in York or yellow. And this is the sound we're looking for here. This is Y. Few words to practice are Vaina, Yod, York. Next one, L, looks like capital English letters J and L. That stands for Jennifer Lopez or Jennifer Lawrence. Whoever you think about, you just need to take the first letter of the surname, like Lopez or Lawrence, and then it is easy to remember that the letter sounds as L. Letter could serve as another association, especially when the letter is written in a different design. So let's try to read the following words. Luna, Laika, Lisa. The next letter is P. It looks like a podium with some pretties on it, just, again, imagination. And the words to practice this are Papa, Top, Park. Okay, we're not far from the end right now, and the next letter is F, or F. And sorry for this association, but it is easy to remember F if you think of a female who has big, breasts. And the words to practice are Phoenix, Fialka, Filin. Next one is C. Imagine there is a flower pot that has a hole in its bottom, and through this hole one of the roots grew out. So the key word here is roots, and its tail ts that comes out from the flower pot is the sound we're looking for. And the words to practice are center, cirk, cent. Next one is quite easy. It looks like a chair upside down and it's letter Ch. Like in macho, champion, chudo. Next one, She, looks like a sheep with chimneys if we add few details. Szapka, Masha, Shishka. The following letter is quite similar to She, and again, sorry for inappropriate association, but that's the best one so far I could come up with, because the sound is not typical for English. It sounds like she in the word shit. So if you imagine a shit coming out of the sheep, then you can easily remember this letter. And the words to practice this letter are shuka, she, and sheka. E is quite easy to remember. It's a mirrored and rounded version of ye. Ye. And the words like X or era or mer. Next one is U. If you turn it 90 degrees to the left, it would look like a head, a neck, and shoulders. It looks just like you, my friend. So remember, it is you, like in words Jura, Jug, Bureau. And the final letter in this group is Ya. Looks like reversed R, and it can be associated with the pirate exclamation Yar, where the sound Ya that comes in the Russian letter and the English letter R that looks like Russian Ya are connected in a very, very funny way. And the words to practice this letter are Yama, Яйцо, Россия. Good job! We are now done with 91% of the Russian alphabet. The final 3 letters are coming now. U, soft sign and hard sign. They look pretty similar and two of them do not have sound value at all. Soft sign makes the preceding consonant soft, which technically means that middle of the tongue raises towards the roof of the mouth. Like if you compare the words with and without a soft sign, you'll immediately hear the difference. For example, mat, mats, brat, brats, par, парь. The hard sign is usually found between a consonant and a vowel. The consonant in this case stays hard and the vowel following starts with y sound, like ye, yo, you, ya. For example, въезд, объект. Basically, I think these two signs, you don't really need to take care of them. Just remember how they look like, and whenever you see them in the words, whatever in the text, they will not really disturb you too much, because you still will be able to read more or less correctly the whole word. The final letter U is consisting of two independent elements. It is a bit problematic sound for many English native speakers. However, this sound is quite doable. Imagine you drop the sound W from the word we, and the remaining sound is similar to our letter U, like we, U. This letter and sound are quite unique, so we will remember them without association. The letter U appears in many personal pronouns like ты, мы, вы. That's it! Now you know all the Russian letters and you can practice reading them. But before you move on to the practice, I would kindly ask you to like and share the video. And also leave the comments under it. It will help me to improve my work and motivate me to do many other useful videos to learn Russian in an easy way in future. You are also very welcome to write down your own name using the Russian letters right down in the comments. You will see some Russian words on the screen. Pause the video, try to read them out, and then unpause the video and I will read it out for you as well. And you can check whether you were correct or not, okay? We will start with the easier words and then we will move on to the harder ones.
Том, мама, кот, сок, тема, мост, секта, ракета, вор, номер, туман, рука, уха, ха-ха, брат, табак, гуру, гамак, мега, дом, дама, дурак, мед, ёмка, жук, жена, жара, зона, зуб, газ, кино, вино, мир, война, йод, Йорк, луна, лайка, Лиза, папа, топ, парк, феникс, фиалка, филин, центр, цирк, цент, мачо, чемпион, чудо, шапка, Маша, шишка, щука, щи, щека, экс, эра, мэр, Юра, юг, бюро, яма, яйцо, Россия, мат, мать, брат, брать, пар, парь, въезд, объект, ты, мы, вы, место, макет, трава, внук, кабан, кебаб, гарем, гном, мода, дух, жертва, хуже, зонт, занавеска, игра, живот, йогурт, ласка, игла, стоп, пирог, фойе, фикус, пациент, перец, человек, черт, кеша, шар, экскаватор, юла, яблоко, мясо, выход, мыло, малыш,